over the roundabout there, rather than going fully around it. Doesn't cut as much speed off.
No, it's nice. I just don't like that bit before because you've got barriers between live traffic. Don't like that at all for safety reasons. Don't like to see that in areas because all you've got is barriers, and as we know, that's, you know, if there's a mishap and you go into the barriers will move into the live traffic. So not ideal, but not ideal conditions for everybody here. But they do have control of the breakaway. Get the Swedish champion up. We did mention Alexander Kamp. To Bora Hansgrohe, just kind of knocking it off. Just they'll be preparing for maybe some attacks on this final circuit, but definitely for this run in towards the finish.
Nobody wanting to bring it back for the bonus seconds here either. 3, 2 and 1 available. Final intermediate sprint of the day. 300 meters to go till we get there, and the bell will ring this time across. Here's where they go over the top. Finish line now in sight. It's the final, 150, 200 meters where the uphill section stops. And it's quite pronounced, isn't it? It's a better view from here of that uphill slide. Bell rings. We should do. And it's what, 5 seconds. It's coming back. Final lap. Chance to move up here on this wider road. Conchon, Gerhard and Boven, and their venture should be over here. Tudor Pro Cycling the most active now at the front in their black jerseys. You can see Swedish champion Eriksson, you mentioned. Of course, he's in a changed jersey because he is that Swedish national champion. And now EF Education Easy Post start to move. Jens Kukeler among their 4 riders there. Fast finisher. We know that Magnus Kort was hanging around somewhere at the back. Still there as well, not being dropped. So, not far from the climb. Remember, it was in the first half of the lap we saw the main climb. Miserable faces with 1 lap to go. Who can blame them? It's pouring down in Luxembourg. But it's got to be heads on, game faces on. Breakaway is brought back. Oh, this is interesting. It's Alexander Kamp who's at the front here. So Tudor Pro Cycling looking to try and do something. Plumers is up there, of course. White jersey on, isn't he? He's got that best young riders jersey on, maybe looking for an improvement upon yesterday.
Yeah, he was up there yesterday. And it all goes down to the team, of course. Kamp, I think throughout this season, has been their kind of go-to kind of sprinter outside of course, you know, their other sprinters. So I really do think that maybe it's Plumers, maybe it's, you know, the kind of uphill finish, maybe the kind of white jersey and things like that. So there's a lot coming into it.
13 kilometres to go. Key part on this course now to see what happens, Brian, on this climb.
Yeah, it's just not on the climb, it's the bit after the climb, that kind of small road, quite easy kind of to block the passage of many riders. So I think a lot will be aware of that, but there's a long kind of fast run in towards the finish, so I think it's from the top there, I don't think you'll get a huge advantage. Very difficult for it to happen, but let's see. I think someone will try, but let's see who it is.
Rojas moving up, blue jersey, left-hand side.
You can just see that spray kick up above the peloton, can't you?
It's a very big, brusque change since yesterday, isn't it? As we see Amador right hand side as we look at it, left hand side now. Hodge is trying to move up and join him. Court is still hanging around here. Alkea move up, far side of the picture in their red jerseys. Crash earlier on today for Thibaut Garnelec, by the way. Rather like yesterday, it's sort of wait and watch. It's been a cagey start, hasn't it, to the Tour of Luxembourg, really? Very hard stage coming up tomorrow, followed by a time trial, though. Tomorrow's final loop includes 3 ascents of a climb that has an 18% gradient. Alexander Kamp on the right as we look at it, black jersey, little red marks on his sleeve to denote that he's been a national champion of Denmark before. Ionis Aguirre, left hand side. Red and white jersey on for Cofidis. Kamp doing a good job to position his teammates. His teammates belong to the Tudor Pro Cycling team from Switzerland. And the reason they wanted that position was for this right and turn. Clymer's in the white jersey, best young rider. So he doesn't hold that jersey as the main man in that competition. Of course, he's looking after it for Corbin Strong, who's still only 23. Strong wearing the yellow leader's jersey. He's been slipping and sliding. Israel Premier Tech just sitting a little further back this time. And same with Bora Hansgrohe, O'Brien, just sitting further back in the peloton now with Jordi Meus.
Yeah, I think it's the calculations they make that, you know, they don't maybe want to make the effort to move up. They don't think that, you know, if anybody goes on this climb over the top down the other side is long enough to get organised, big enough road to bring it all back together. 10.5 kilometres to go, so it's a big ask. A lot of teams are moving up towards the front. You can see Alaphilippe taking his glasses off. He's on the right hand side. The left hand side, as you mentioned, in the red and the white is Ionis Aguirre. So it's a case of being there. You want to be there, but you know, some riders like Magnus Kort is just very relaxed towards the back.
It's a case of nothing to prove as well for Magnus Kort. I'm sure he'd love to win today. He's won on the very biggest stage as well. Lisi making the effort to move up and join his teammates in the white. As we're at Narrows. And this is Eriksson, the Swedish championship front now. And she's got the camera mounted on the handlebars, recording the moment for posterity.
You can wave back at him.
The reason why people want to be at the front is because of these narrowing of roads. I think Gamper's the man at the back here for Bora. He's done a lot of work already today. And the man who's on the shopping list at Lidl Trek being crossed off as acquired. And we're yet to find out if they've been through the checkout for the final time this year. Back off the narrow roads onto the wider ones, and this is where the climb goes close to coming over the top now. The top of this road, the next kilometre or so, is where the nervous moment will start because of the descent again. There's Corbin Strong, sitting well surrounded by his teammates. Madouas moving up for Groupama FDG. And Strong sitting right smack bang in the middle of the bunch, isn't he? You can see a lot of people moving up, and this is why now, Brian, because they want this position for that descent. Amador is there on the left-hand side in the pink. Petel's in the white. Eriksson in the blue and yellow of his national champions jersey through the centre. Like here, she's trying to join in the Swiss national champion, I should say, as well. downhill we go. So nothing happened on the climb, basically.
No, it's kind of half expected with the way that the peloton were riding. It's just this right-hand corner at the bottom of this descent, and then we've got that kind of slight kick up. Alaphilippe still towards the front. Mark Hirschi on the kind of left-hand side for UAE Team Emirates.
Eight kilometres remain. Look at how the weather's really managed to dive down on the course and fill in through the valleys here. Couple of twists and turns. As Brian knows it last time through, it's the sharp right corner under the narrow road that's the biggest problem on the descent. So the white lines on the way down, though, something that people will be wary of. Here is the right corner, I think, coming up in a moment. There it is. Speed taken off for most people. No chances taken. And everybody through as Alaphilippe is on the front and stretching it out for Soudal Quickstep. And where he goes, Quinten Hermans will go. Andre Amador sits there in third wheel. Mark Hirschi, Nons Petels. And this is an interesting move by Alaphilippe.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if it's an attack trying to kind of break the peloton. I think it's a case of just maybe trying to kind of split it, maybe make it hard. They've got kind of Baggioli. He's just kind of sitting up, you know, doing a hard tempo at the front. He looks around. Mark Hirschi is in third place, but you know, an opportunist move over the top of this climb for anybody, but it doesn't look as if anybody's interested. Inside 7 kilometres to go. Let's see.
Paris. He goes, and Carapaz follows.
It's just half-hearted, isn't it? That he kind of went half-hearted, and if it wasn't for Carapaz is pushing this one out. He's the one most interested. Baggioli sitting in third place there. It looks like Tobias Johannesson trying to come across now as well for Uno X in the Reds.
UAE Emirates with the rider coming across. Carapaz looks behind, champion of Ecuador. Paris Pantre, stage winner at the Giro d'Italia this year, down in the far south on a day, weather-wise, that was similar to this. 6 kilometres to the line now. It's a minute gap, despite the big stars involved at the front. Looks like it could be Felix Groß-Schartner coming to the front here.
Yeah, definitely. Ericsson is closing the gap now for Tudor Pro Cycling. By the looks of it, the Swedish champion, Hopson Deconic on it as well. It's very difficult in this kind of rolling, kind of fast roads in towards the finish to stay away. But Paris Pantre went, but it was Carapaz that really, you know, put the power down. But again, all back together, and we'll see this. Unless the team takes control, we will see a little bit more of this kind of attacking riding and towards the finish.
To say though, thank goodness Free F Education Easy Post, because they've been the only ones today. Now let's see, Lidl Trek move a couple of riders up, including Giulio Ciccone. Alpecin Koenig taking it up at the front now. At the back of their line of 4 riders is the man who was second yesterday, Søren Kragh. Soudal Quickstep started the party, didn't they, through that corner with Julien Alaphilippe. And Alkea Samsic having 5 riders in the top 20 here. Red jerseys on their back. Pluimers of Tudor Pro Cycling still down the white jersey. We get a look at Aramburu, who's always a man to be watched. Amador's still there. Man whose job it is seemingly to just position Carapaz in the right place. He's doing a good job today. All of the experience we talked about earlier in the broadcast. Tischbenot following in the yellow jersey, left-hand side, 4th wheel. Winner this year of the Kurne Brussels Kurne. And there's Corbin Strong. Yellow jersey on his back, navy shorts. Israel Premier Tech stage winner yesterday and current race leader. Another kilometre close to ticking by. UAE Emirates at the front. Mark Hirschi sitting on the wheel of his teammate.
A lot of riders sitting back in this one, remaining patient. I think possibly with this type of finish, probably the right thing to do, but you do take a bit of risk. You know, from Bora Hansgrohe controlling things pretty much all day. I've not seen anything of them pretty much over the last few kilometres now, just allowing the race to kind of play out in front of them. I keep on seeing Victor Campenaerts in that kind of light blue helmet. He's always looking for his opportunity. He did it yesterday, might do it again today, but a lot of teams just sitting back.
Plummer's still sitting there. He's been the most consistently placed rider, I think, in the last few kilometres. Yes, we've had riders off the front, at the front, but Plummer has just stayed there. 5th, 6th position, white jersey on his back, and Tudor Pro doing a great job. Here comes Tish Benoot. He's got Tim van Dijken with him. 3 kilometres to go now. Day 2 in Luxembourg. A nasty, wet, gnarly day to get through. For the first time in a while, we see Jordi Meeus reappear at the front, and he's being piloted to the front by Niels Pollitt. Likelihood is when it gets to the business end, he might have to look after himself though, Brian.
Well, he's got Marco Haller is there. He's not too far back, but the thing is, if in this sort of bunch, you can leave it a little bit late. It's not too big a peloton. As long as your sprinter's near the front, Marco Haller can get there, and if he gets there with 1 kilometre to go and he's right next to Meeus, then he can help kind of lead out. But it's not your kind of Grand Tour sprint final. A lot of these riders are up here purely because they're kind of looking after the GC contender, few looking after sprinters. But Bora Hansgrohe on the right hand side in the kind of petrol green, they've only got Niels Pollitt looking after Jordi Meeus. But I think he could be the wheel to take, possibly Søren Kragh in the kind of light blue jersey as well.
Ardor looks like he's done for the day. Hermans now through the centre, taking it up for Kragh. 2 kilometres remain. It looks as though it will be Van Dijk to have a go for Jumbo-Visma. He's sitting on the wheel very eagerly, being looked after by Tish Benoot. Carapaz looking for his own opportunities, just making sure he's positioned in the right place and ready to fight tomorrow. And now Ajou Dessert move up on the left as we look at it. Keep your eye on Meeus. He's being piloted into that position just at the right time. We're approaching the barrier area now, the couple of roundabouts and into the Flamme Rouge that we'll take on in a minute. Here's the first of those. Couple of riders with the wrong way around. That's them out the gate. Dropping 20 to 30 places with a click of a finger. Still Hermans here, the Belgian.
Just look as if Alaphilippe's looking after Baggioli. Campenaerts now coming up a little bit now. So because we don't have a lot of top sprinters here, there'll be a lot of riders thinking that they could get a good result here.
Kirsch on the left hand side with the bunny hop onto the pavement, back off it. Luxembourg national champion. Just over a kilometre to go. We go through the Flamme Rouge now. 1,000 metres to the line. Alpes Interkoning have the prime position, the best real estate at the front. Do they have the man who can finish it off in Søren Kragh? Looking down for the yellow jersey. He's a long way back, is Corbin Strong, isn't he? But it's uphill this. Uphill all the way until the final 200 metres. Strong halfway down the peloton. It's now Tish Benoot who is leading this one. Uphill is his terrain. On his wheel, though, one of the big rivals. And here you go, Victor Campenaerts. You wondered, you asked the question. He's following. Bora Hansgrohe also try to follow. Pollitt is about to drop off Jordi Meeus. Meeus now goes to sit on the wheel of Alex Kirsch. Alex Aramburu is moving up as well, but it's still Campenaerts who is shaking the tree and trying to shake them all loose. One long line here. Corbin Strong is far too far back now and out the game for today. But here now goes Søren Kragh. It's going to be Van Dijk to follow. Kragh on the left-hand side in the blue. Baggioli trying to get involved as well. Meeus is having a fight. He's in 6th position. But it's Søren Kragh going all the way. 50 metres to go. Van Dijk trying to come around him. But Arcair's there as well. 3 to the line. Oh, wow. It's victory to Arcair Samsic. Van Dijk was leading that out all the way. An opportunity maybe for several other riders to get involved, and with just a few kilometres to go, we notice that Arkea Samsic had 5 riders in the top 20. They've kept all their riders up there, and they've managed to finish this one off. That is a very, very big win for Arkea Samsic. Absolute delight. And it looks as though it may well be Birmans who's finished it off. Jente Birmans winning stage 2 in Malmö. And look at what it means to him and the team. And when we mentioned